She banned calculators, then this happened. This teacher was a strict math teacher, one of those no calculator types, which is lame in my opinion because screw math. But anyway, class, you will never need a calculator if you're actually smart. She said that at least once a week, always with a little smirk. Like she's trying to be inspirational, but she just comes across as condescending. One day, she's flying through problems on the board, she's fast, she's confident, she's feeling herself. Okay, 12 times 6, that gives us 64. The kid in the back, Brady, raises his hand and goes, Miss, you mean 72, right? Excuse me? Yeah, you said 12 times 6 is 64. It's 72, miss. She looks at the board and she slowly erases it and changes it to 72. Awkward. Then Brady from the back goes, maybe you should use a calculator. Yeah, miss. What now? She's actually dumb. Yeah. He's a calculator, idiot. You smell like my dad. This kid gets caught cheating on purpose. This happened last spring. There's this math teacher, right? She's super strict, but only to certain kids. Late homework, 0%. Wrong format, 0%. But if your parents were rich, if you were on varsity, if she just liked you, you were fine. And everybody knew it, but nobody could prove it. But then there's Noah. He was the top of his class. He literally had a spreadsheet to track his GPA. One day he wanted to prove that this teacher was a little biased. So during a quiz, he leans way over his desk and stares at the person next to his quiz, like clearly cheating. Guys. Teacher looks up, sees him doing this, but nothing. Completely ignores it. The next week, there's another quiz. Now Noah's friend Kyle, the teacher didn't like that much, so this was the other half of their plan. During that quiz, Kyle begins cheating off of somebody else, and he doesn't get very far. Office now. Not even 2 seconds into Kyle cheating, the teacher sees this and calls him out immediately. Kyle gets 2 days of in-school suspension. Noah, nothing. So their theory was proven. A few days after that, they go to the principal together and they explain to the principal the situation that's going on. And believe it or not, thank you for sharing this. I believe you guys. Yes, I'll have a talk with her. I promise. The teacher was out for a few days, but when she came back, she was a whole lot more fair. I bet that principal really gave her a talking to. You either finished in 60 seconds or you failed. This was 8th grade, pop quiz day. But it wasn't just any quiz, it was Mrs. Lowell's quiz. Okay, pencils down at the timer, you have 60 seconds. There are 10 questions, you should be fine if you studied. 10 questions in a minute? Time's a part of the challenge. Welcome to real life, buddy. She sets a timer on her phone. 60, 59. 58. You can feel the panic. Kids are scribbling down trying to finish this 10-question quiz, and the buzzer goes off. Pencils down, I will collect these now. Everyone's groaning like they all knew that they just failed that thing. Next day, grades get handed back. One kid got 20%, one kid got a 50%, one kid got a 10%. Yo, this ain't fair, miss. You only gave us a minute. Yeah, and you should have been ready for the quiz. Just brutal. 2 weeks later, different day, the bell rings for class. There's no sign of Miss Lowell. A minute passes. Then 5. The whole class is just sitting there. Well, suddenly, one kid stands up and walks to the classroom door. He locks it. What are you doing? She says 1 minute's enough time to finish those quizzes. We gave her 5. Class already started. She's locked out. Shortly after that, she shows up and she tries to open the door. But obviously, it's locked, and she doesn't have her key. Unlock this door immediately. Nobody moves. You are wasting class time. You're a hypocrite, miss. You're late to class. Welcome to real life. You gotta respect the hustle. There's always that one kid in school that would do anything. Not for money or clout, just because. Well, at this school, there was one kid, and he would do whatever anyone dared him to do. Slap a kid with a piece of pizza? All right. Take a dump in the urinal? I got you. Stand up on a lunch table in the middle of lunch and dump a chocolate milk on his head while he's screaming? He didn't just do it, he committed. People started testing him to see where the line was. I dare you to eat this ladybug, okay? I dare you to toss a spoonful of yogurt on the principal. That's easy. Yeah, there wasn't a line. He would do anything. But here's the weird part. In class, he was completely normal. Yo, what was the homework from yesterday? What was that small package he gave us? It's actually due tomorrow, but super easy. The last question's a trick question though, so be careful. But yeah, you guys should be fine. Let me know if you have any questions. Cool. Well, he didn't have any social media, no Instagram, no TikTok, no Snapchat. So after graduation, he disappeared. Nobody has seen him or heard from him ever since. Yo, this is karma. So when they were younger, these two best friends had this habit. They would drive around at night smashing mailboxes for fun. One drove, the other would swing the bat outside the window. Nice. One night, they spot this loose mailbox that caught their eye. And instead of hitting it, the friend got out and yanked it completely out of the ground and threw it in the middle of the street. Yo, just pulled it out. And it was a big mailbox with this long metal pole. And now it's just laying in the middle of the street. They drive off, they're laughing, they're blasting music. Then they decide to make their way back home. And they're speeding, they're going really fast. When all of a sudden the driver's like, wait, isn't this the same road that, bam, the car hits something? It's the mailbox that they put in the middle of the street. The big mailbox. They get out to inspect the damage. The mailbox had put a major dent right in the front of the car, and half of it was under, and it kind of tore some stuff up underneath as well. The car was screwed. Bro, you're screwed. Me? You're the one that pulled it out. You told me to. They had no choice. This kid had to call his dad, and his dad had to come and they had to explain everything to him. And yeah, they were in major trouble. His teacher absolutely hated mayonnaise. It's the worst! Like, it was a phobia. One day the class is talking about things that they don't like. Kids are saying bugs, spiders, snakes. The teacher says, well, mine is kind of weird. I hate mayonnaise. The smell makes me sick. Everybody laughs. Hee hee ha ha. Class moves on. Except the one kid becomes weirdly obsessed with this information. Mrs. Johnson hates mayonnaise, huh? The next day, he walks into that class carrying a full jar of mayonnaise. He sits down and just sets it right on his desk. Doesn't say a word. The teacher notices this, but she ignores it. She figures this kid's just trying to mess with me. I'm not even gonna put any energy into it. But then he does it again the next day, and the day after that. Every morning, that mayonnaise jar is just sitting on his desk right next to his notebook, staring at the teacher. Now, after days of completely ignoring this mayonnaise thing, teacher finally breaks. Okay, I have to ask, why do you keep bringing mayonnaise into my classroom? He looks up and in complete seriousness, he says, because one day, miss, I'm gonna drown you in mayonnaise. Now, the kid didn't actually end up drowning her in mayonnaise, but he did keep bringing that jar to school, and she kept having to look at it. It was there in that classroom every day for the rest of the year. There was a weird kid at school that everybody avoided. He was really quiet. Well, one day he brings a cake into class and sets it on the teacher's desk. What is this? I made it. Oh, okay. Whose birthday is it? Nobody's. I just made it. Oh, nice. Well, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna bring it to the teacher's lounge, okay? Huh? Comes back. Class moves on. The cake is now sitting in the teacher's lounge. Everybody's kind of skeptical. They're like, I'm not eating that cake. Well, 3 teachers decide, hey, why not? I like cake. So they start eating it. Within an hour and a half, those teachers start leaving their classrooms. Their stomachs are going crazy. Oh no, oh. Subs have to come in. The office is kind of scrambling. The teachers spend the next few hours in the bathroom. Then somebody connects the dots. It's the cake. They keep it. They have somebody test it. The next day they find out the cake was filled with laxatives. The kid gets pulled out of class. Yo, come with me. Oh, okay. And then he's gone, and he never shows up to school ever again. Why in the world would he do that? This kid went to a Catholic school in Florida. Florida. And if you've ever been to Florida, you know that there are lizards everywhere. On walls, sidewalks, just chilling by the pool. It's a lovely day. So one day, this little lizard gets inside this school building. It's in a classroom. And everyone's freaking out for some reason. The teacher's consistently saying, nobody touch it! Nobody touch it! And this one kid thought she was scared. That's why she was saying it. So he chased the lizard around. He picked it up. He caught it. Don't worry, miss. I got it. I'll go put him outside. The teacher then gets really weird. Oh, you shouldn't have touched the lizard. Why? You just invited the devil into your soul. That's funny. No, I'm serious. Get in the hall. She then sends this kid out into the hallway and calls this nun to come up. The nun then takes him to the chapel part of school where she prayed over him for the rest of the day. And this kid is sitting there. The nun also made the kid watch her kill the lizard with a cross. I'm not sure what kind of Florida Catholic school this is, but that's crazy! This school prank lasted for 2 years. It all began at this high school when a single rubber duck appeared in the school's water fountain. And nobody thought much of it. It was just a random duck. Who cares? Until the next day, 2 ducks. Then 4, then 10. By the end of that week, there was rubber ducks appearing in every sink, every toilet, and even in students' lockers. Teachers were losing their minds. The principal, she was done. She kept saying on the intercom, whoever's responsible for the ducks, speak up now, please. Silence. Nobody confessed. So they gave up. They figured it would eventually sizzle out. But here's the thing, it never stopped. For 2 years, rubber ducks would randomly appear in the craziest of places. Ceiling tiles, inside the vending machines, somehow. One duck even appeared in the vice principal's car. It became a legend, till this senior year. It was graduation. The principal was giving her speech when suddenly a banner dropped down. What was on the banner? A single rubber duck. This kid walked to the front of the stage and said, "It was me. It was always me." I need a new egg. Oh God, you can use mine. It's physics class. This kid named Frank has a presentation, and he needs an egg for some reason. Well, he brings one from home. Just one. Well, before class even starts, he sees a kid in the hallway that he doesn't like, and his genius self decided to throw his only egg at this kid. He makes me so mad. Ew, what the heck? So now class is about to start, and he's just like, "Oh God, no, I don't have an egg anymore. I'm gonna fail. I need to find an egg." That's when some random kid who was walking by in the hallway stops and says this to him. "You can borrow my egg, huh?" He laughed, thinking it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. This kid pulls out a real egg, and it has a face drawn on it. "This is my son, Leonardo. Be careful with him, please. I'm gonna meet you back here after class." He hands it over like it's a sacred little egg. Frank uses it for his presentation, and he passes. The egg doesn't break. But Frank was so relieved that this all went well, when he was getting up to leave the classroom, he accidentally knocked Leonardo on the ground, and Leonardo cracked. Broke open. When he met the kid outside the classroom at the end, he just handed him bits of shells and yolk. "Hey man, sorry, your egg broke. My bad, but thank you." Oh! Hey, Leonardo! My boy! This teacher's so mean. This kid was 12 years old and he was trying really hard in art class. Whole week he's working on this fruit bowl sketch. He's carefully shading it, blending colors, he's doing his best. Well, he's getting almost close to being done, and he's proud of this. He walks up to the teacher and he says, "Hey, Miss Reynolds, you think I'm doing okay on this?" She takes one look, she smirks, and says this out loud in front of the entire class. "It would be good if a 5-year-old did it." What? You heard me. No one even laughs at this. Even the class clown is sitting there in complete silence, just looking at him. He goes back to his desk, his face is red, and he just rips the painting in half. He didn't turn in another project the rest of the year. Even when he had to, he would just scribble something random on a piece of notebook paper and turn that in. Because why even try when the person who grades you talks to you like that? She killed his confidence and she made him hate what he used to love doing. And that is no way to be a teacher, so screw that lady. Presentations are today? I'm screwed. Hey, come here. I got you. This kid had over 200 PowerPoints just sitting on a flash drive. Every single one of them he made for fun. But then he turned it into a genius business. This started around 8th grade. This kid named Liam, quiet kid, kept to himself. For some reason, this guy was obsessed with making PowerPoint presentations. The history of water slides, the rise and fall of AOL, why birds might be smarter than we think. Just anything. At first, everyone thought it was just his thing, like his little quirk, until one day someone forgets to do their presentation for a class. Kids in full panic mode. What's the presentation on? Invasive species. I've got one on killer bees. Does that work? That's perfect. Kid turns it in, changes the title slide, and boom, he gets a B. That works. And just like that, it begins. He starts selling them PowerPoints on every single topic. Historical events, weird science, fast food history, literally anything. $10 per presentation and $15 if you had to have him customize it a little bit. He called it the Vault. Some of them people bought didn't even make any sense for what they had to turn in, but it was still better than nothing. By the end of the year, he had made over $500 doing this, and he says he plans to keep on doing it because he just loves making PowerPoints and he doesn't see himself ever stopping. So the supply is endless. You gotta respect the hustle. It was supposed to be a regular Easter egg hunt. Colorful eggs, kids running around, but for some reason that year it went completely off the rails. This was some years back. The school threw an Easter egg hunt and the whole community showed up. Dozens of kids in the field, baskets in their hand. And then there's the parents. Stick with me, sweetie. I know where they put the gold ones. Don't just stand there. Go right there, under the bench. They weren't just cheering them on. They were coaching them. They were controlling the situation. Some parents are diving through bushes. Oh, I see one. Get back. One dad grabs 5 eggs and gives them to his kid. Hey, yo, that was my kid's egg. You saw us going for that. Oh, shut your mouth. Your kid's a loser. Then it pops off. Moms are throwing themselves across the grass. Dads are squaring up. Yeah. Come on, man. You want some of this? You got, man. What you got, huh? Oh. It got so bad that by the end, 5 people were injured and one of them had to be airlifted by a helicopter to the nearest hospital. Thankfully, nobody died. But from that year on, the school had a strict rule that the Easter egg hunts were only for the kids. That makes perfect sense to me. This happened in the school cafeteria. There was a student with a severe peanut allergy. Like the kind where touching residue would send him into complete shock. Everybody knew this, it was serious. But then there was this one kid, the class bully. One day at lunch, he pulls out a Reese's peanut butter cup. You know the ones? He eats it in front of this kid with the allergy, chewing it slowly on purpose. Hey man, quit messing around, man. Okay, just keep away from me. Then he licks his finger. Hey. He starts chasing the allergy kid around the cafeteria. Come on, come here. One little touch, man. Stay away from me. He's laughing like it's just some game. And then taps the kid on the arm. Within seconds, this kid's face starts swelling up. Eyes puffed shut, he falls to the ground gasping. The nurse rushes in, she uses the EpiPen, and he gets sent to the ER. He nearly died, pretty much. But the bully? 2-week suspension. That's it? That's it. That was it. The kid with the allergies' parents tried to press charges. But there was some kind of settlement. Turns out the bully's parents had a lot of money that they donated to the school. And the school buried this. Karma's gonna get that kid one day, I swear. That's messed up. His parents were at the sleepover. It's Friday night, sleepover at his buddy Jonah's house. First hour solid. Pizza, soda, Mario Kart, chillin'. But then, hey boys, we have next round, okay? This is gonna be great. It's Jonah's mom and dad. They join him and they play 4 rounds. Now, this is kind of weird, man. Oh, it's fine. Later, they go for a bike ride. Let's go, bro. All right, see you, mom and dad, we're heading out. But then, Jonah's mom and dad come out on their own bikes. I'll lead the way. I'll be in the back for safety. What the heck? Biking in formation. Back inside, it's movie time. They're watching The Sandlot. Jonah's mom walks in with a pillow. Oh, I love this one. Scoot over. The dad's laying on the floor. They stay for the entire movie and the dad's crying at the end. Now that's a classic. Then it's time for bed. Sleeping bags on the floor, lights off, and then suddenly, zip! Jonah's parents lay out their own sleeping bags and they join them. Good night, boys. I had a lot of fun today. I'm gonna sleep like a baby tonight. He doesn't sleep, he just stares at the ceiling listening to Jonah's dad snore, counting down the hours till morning. Worst sleepover ever, and he never went back. This wasn't a field trip, it was a setup. Classroom, 12-year-olds, middle of math. All right, class, put your pencils down. We're going on a field trip. Wait, what? Where are we going? You'll see. Everybody line up. They line up, they walk outside the school, they walk down the road, they go through a fence, and then they see it. A vineyard. Isn't this a winery? I'm 12. Stay close. Are we like gonna study grapes or something? Shh. Just stay close. They get to the back of the winery, and they see this man. It was her husband. And right behind him was a woman. Another woman. The teacher turns to the class. Okay, everybody, that man is my husband. And that woman is who he's cheating with. Get a good hard look at the two. Stacy, what are you doing? Oh my god, they're on a field trip. That's cute. Shut up. Class, you all saw this, right? Okay, you are all my witnesses. And I want things out of the house by the end of the day. What? By the end of the day. The kids then line up again behind her and they walk back to school. That teacher then divorced her husband and she got remarried. And they are still together to this day. And they have a very happy marriage, so that's good. It was supposed to be a normal lunch period. But 5 minutes later, the principal was on the floor. This happened at a high school. 2 senior girls lock eyes. You told him I cheated? Yeah, because you did. People are starting to notice what's going down. The cafeteria gets quiet. One of the girls picks up a carton of chocolate milk and dumps it on the other girl's head. And it begins. The hair pulling, the smacking. Get off me! You are so dead. Lunch trays are flying around, people are backing up. The principal comes running in. Hey, break it up! That's when one of the bigger of the seniors just clocks him right in the gonads. He drops, the whole cafeteria gasps, and then she climbs on a table. You want drama? I'll give you drama. No. A full-blown elbow drop. Kids are screaming, some are cheering, most of them are recording, and that was the day of lunchroom beef turned into a full-blown wrestling match. Nobody forgot that day, ever. Especially the principal. This kid ran a movie theater out of his garage, and yeah, he made money. This happened last summer. This one kid in the neighborhood, let's call him Johnny, not a really popular kid, but people didn't mind him. He had a brilliant idea. He set up a projector in his garage. He had a popcorn machine in there, and he lines up actual chairs with cushions on them, rows A through D. He charges $3 for admission and $2 extra if they wanted popcorn, and business was immediately booming. Every night, new movie. One night it's Kung Fu Panda 2. The next night, Jaws. Friday night, playing Ratatouille. He does double features on weekends. By mid-July, the whole block's pulling up. Parents are sending kids with snacks to share with everybody. Some dude's dad is grilling out hot dogs in the driveway. It's a whole thing. It becomes this amazing, beautiful frickin' movie theater on someone's cul-de-sac. But it did go sideways for a second. One night, the theater was showing The Meg. Big shark movie. I've never seen it. But some kid brought his little brother, and this movie caused this kid's little brother to absolutely freak the heck out. Crying, he's horrified. This kid's parents shows up and they're super mad. That night the movie had to be shut down. Yeah, I'm not sure if your kid is qualified to run something like this. Yeah, well, your son's a little baby. Excuse me? Well, this is better than the movie. Enough! Johnny's mom was finally like, you know what, that's it, no more shark movies, keep it all PG. And for the next few films he did. But then he went back to playing the variety of movies that he really enjoyed, and it was fine. He ran this theater for 42 nights straight. And by the end of summer, he made $300. Man, that sounds like the perfect frickin' business. And you know what? You gotta respect the hustle. So where's my daughter? Yeah, well, we got good news and bad news. This happened the second day of kindergarten. Ella is 5 years old. It's her second day ever riding the bus. The bus route ends at the daycare, and that's where her mom picks her up after work. But on this particular day, the bus pulls up. The kids get off, except for Ella. The daycare staff looks around. Wait a minute, where's Ella? They called her mom. Hi, did you keep Ella home from school today? Because she's not here. What? No, she was in the bus this morning. The mom calls the school. Where is my daughter? She didn't get off her bus today. I have no idea. They had no idea. They panic. The mom panics. 15 minutes later, the school calls the mom back. Hi, we know where she is. we know where she is. She had fallen asleep on the bus. The bus driver never checked the seats. They drove the bus back to the bus depot and locked the bus inside of the garage and left. Ella wakes up alone. On a dark, silent bus, and she's absolutely horrified, as you can imagine. There's no lights, there's no voices. She starts screaming. Finally, a mechanic hears her and runs over. She's in tears, she's shaking, she's hugging her backpack. The school apologized. The bus driver got fired, and that girl never took a nap on a bus ever again. It was supposed to be a normal middle school sleepover, but then things got crazy. It was 4 friends, they were all in 8th grade. They had the sleeping bags in the basement, Nerf guns, soda, the usual. They go upstairs, they're playing video games, but then one of the friends says this. Yo, what's that behind the fence over there? Oh, that's my neighbor's hot tub. We should go in it. Oh. Wait a minute. They laughed it off at first, but 1:30 a.m. hits. The parents are asleep, and they went outside. Are we really doing this? This is a bad idea, guys. Shut your mouth, Ralphie. Everyone chill out. We're going in. Next thing you know, all 4 of them are sitting in the neighbor's hot tub, snacking on Doritos, and someone's playing music from their phone. Okay, this is really nice. Pure relaxation, boys. Pure relaxation. All right, we should get out soon, guys. Shut the hell up. Well, that's when, all of a sudden, the backyard floodlights go on. Oh my god, run. Yeah, there's 4 kids in my hot tub right now. Get out of here. The next morning, everybody's in the kitchen having breakfast. Everyone's worried about last night. Well, the doorbell rings. Oh, I'll get that. Wait, no. Hi, Mr. Johnson. Hi, Carol. We should have a conversation. She found out, everyone gets in big trouble, but that sleepover went down in history as one of the greatest of all time. This class is so messed up for this. It's middle school science, and this teacher is a sweet, older woman. She's soft-spoken, she's always kind, she truly cares about her students. She's one of the good ones. Well, one year, she bought every single one of her students their own pencil case with her own money. She filled them with rulers, pencils, erasers, everything they could possibly need. Class, no need to bring supplies, I got you. Okay? So each of her students has these full pencil cases, and one day she steps out for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. Snap, thud, whip. The students start chucking these pencil cases across the room, snapping rulers, breaking pencils, breaking the zippers, and they're all laughing like maniacs. She just walks back in and she freezes. Wait, what happened? No one answers. She picks up a broken pencil case and holds it in her hands, and she just starts crying in front of everybody. Why would you guys do this? Why would you guys do this? Super messed up. Well, the next day she comes into class. She says this. Class, I'm so sorry for getting upset yesterday. That was not good of me. I should have been more composed. I just wanted you guys to have everything you needed, okay? Anyway, I brought you all some candy. And then she gave them candy. Dude, they were the ones that should have apologized to her. She was one of the best teachers in that school. And students who were in that class say that this messes them up to this day. Which, it should. No. He was in the back of the classroom, during a boring lecture, scrolling through his crush's Instagram page. I mean, pretty risky thing to do with the crush in the class, but that's what he was doing. Well, he's years deep into her Instagram page. As he's scrolling, his thumb grazes the heart. No. He panics and he accidentally goes back. So now he's got to scroll all the way down to find this picture that he accidentally liked from 5 years ago. His brain short circuits. The school's Wi-Fi is so bad it's kind of lagging. Older posts aren't loading. No. He looks over at his crush and he sees that her notification went off and she's reaching for her phone. No. Meanwhile, during all this, his phone was at 1%, and it died. His face goes completely white. The guy next to him asks him, "Hey bro, you okay?" No, he wasn't okay. She looks at her phone. So he just gets up quickly and walks out of the room. Gotta go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. As he walks out, he looks behind and she's looking at him. So now his crush saw that he liked a photo from years ago during class. And now he's running out of the room. He probably looks insane. But his crush saw it, so he goes to the bathroom and he sits in the stall until the bell rings. He said he was so embarrassed he didn't go to school the next day. And when he did return, yeah, he got bullied. So there was this kid in 8th grade, and to be clear, nobody liked him. Why? Well, because he was frickin' mean. He would steal people's food and say, "Mine, survival of the fittest." He barked at the PE teacher once. And he had this really insane talent of making other people cry. Kid was a certified menace. One day during lunch, he picks up one of those tiny square milk cartons, and he sees someone across the way and says this, "Hey nerd, catch this." He winds up, he launches the milk carton, and he misses. The milk carton missed the kid he was trying to throw it at, but it hit the security guard in the chest. Oh, you, come here now. And let me say this, the security guard was a huge, buff dude. People respected him because they were terrified of him. No. I'm so sorry. Well, this 8th grader is now starting to panic because he's terrified. I said, "Come here now." He starts walking over there, slowly, in shame and terror. And just like that, every single student in the cafeteria begins cheering. Justice is served. Who's the nerd now? Loser. Everyone was just so happy that this kid, who seemed to never get in trouble but was always so horrible to other people, was finally getting the karma he deserved. So when this guy was in high school, the school's bulldog statue, big metal full-on mascot, just vanished. Gone overnight. The next day it was just an empty base and rumors were spreading. The rival school took it. It's gotta be a senior prank. One teacher said it was melted for scrap. What a dumb rumor. Well, fast forward 15 years, this one guy was having a beer with his older brother. His older brother was a very quiet, low-profile guy in high school. When all of a sudden, his brother said, "Hey, remember that bulldog statue in high school?" "Yeah, I hit it with my truck. It was me." "You what?" Apparently, it was late at night. He was doing donuts in the school parking lot. And boom. Oh God. The bulldog goes flying off the platform, and instead of owning up to this, he panics. He grabs the statue and tosses it in his trunk like it's a frickin' body. He drives it out to the woods. There's this little bridge by their old house. He parks by it, takes the bulldog out of the trunk, walks to the bridge, and looks around. "I'm sorry, buddy." And dumps it. Bulldog sinks to the bottom of the river. Gone forever. Honestly, That is legendary behavior. One day at school, two girls started throwing hands in the lunch line over a yogurt, one single cup of strawberry chobani. Lunch was already chaotic that day. They ran out of chicken sandwiches early and the drink cooler was broken, so everybody's tense. Then a senior cuts the line and grabs the last yogurt off the tray. Another girl behind her goes, "Yo, that's mine. You didn't pay for it yet." "Yeah, but I was next. You cut me." They go back and forth, then suddenly, boom. Tray gets smacked, yogurt hits the floor and explodes everywhere. And then, it begins. A full-blown fight cuts loose. Security's still halfway across the lunchroom trying to make their way. People are gathering, phones out recording this. But in the dead background, you can see Mrs. Jenkins, the school principal, standing there, arms crossed, definitely invested in this fight. Hey, cut it out. Kids are yelling, "Hey, somebody should stop them. Mrs. Jenkins, do something. I'm observing, okay? Security's coming, it's fine. Ladies, please." The girls get pulled apart. Nobody is seriously hurt. Just a busted lip and a ripped backpack. But the footage hit Snapchat that afternoon with the caption, "Mrs. Jenkins ringside." Nobody got suspended, just a couple detentions were handed out. For the rest of the year, whenever kids saw Mrs. Jenkins in the cafeteria, they would chuckle to themselves. "Look at Mrs. Jenkins. She's only here because she wants to see round 2. Can't blame her. Can't blame her. I left my phone in the bathroom. Go ahead, sweetie, just hurry back. There it is, the trick. It didn't work on anybody else, but Miss Carter, she was the golden ticket. Every week, it was the same move. 4th period, same delivery. I think I left my phone in the bathroom. I think I left my phone in gym class. I think my phone's in the cafeteria. She always believed him. She never asked for follow-ups. So this kid would disappear for 10, 15 minutes. He would hit the vending machine. He would chill in the hallway. And this never failed until it did. On Friday, he pulls the move. "Miss Carter, I left my... Go check, just hurry up." Boom, gone. He does the thing. He's strolling the hallways. Goes to the vending machine, his normal routine. Well, 10 minutes later, he comes back to class, and she's lecturing about something. He tunes out. After being completely spaced out for a couple of minutes, he then, dead serious, raises his hand and goes, "Miss Carter, I think I left my phone in the bathroom." The class freezes. Didn't he just do that? Wait, you left it again? The same phone? He completely spaced out. He did it for a second time in one class. He's cooked. I think I've been played. This kid gets written up, and that trick never worked ever again. Nice try though, kid. This kid got in trouble for running in the sandbox. Not fighting, not throwing sand, running. He was in 1st grade, and apparently the school had a rule. No running in the sandbox. Well, this kid always got very excited to play, like a kid should. It's recess, there's a sandbox, I would be excited as well. And he got punished for it. Not just once, they gave this kid over 20 detentions for running in a sandbox in 1st grade. And then, at the end of the year, the school planned a field trip. But the principal says to this kid, "You've had too many infractions. You cannot attend the field trip." So the parents say, "This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe the school is doing this. You know what? Let's take him ourselves." So they take him. Same place, same day. They bought their own tickets. I think it was like a zoo or something. Well, the school finds out. They see him at this place. And the principal suspends the kid on the last day of school because he showed up to the same place as the school field trip with his parents. So, instead of going to the last day of school, this kid's grandma took him shopping at the mall. And honestly, that sounds way better. What kind of school is this? "You are stealing from the school." "I'm charging my phone." "Exactly." This kid plugs his phone into the wall outlet during class. There wasn't a distraction, his phone just had low battery, and they were doing a free work period, so what's the big deal? Well, the teacher sees this and loses it. "Unplug that now, you are stealing school electricity." "It's a phone charger." "Unplug it or you're suspended and we'll bill you for the power you used." He thinks there's no way that the school would go that far, so he doesn't unplug his phone. But the school, they wanted to punish him. They were ready. He gets called to the office the next day. Official suspension. And he got a notice to appear before a disciplinary committee. What? All this for using the wall outlet in class. So he shows up. Calm, silent. "Well, young man, theft is theft, no matter how small." "Cool. Here's 10 cents. Keep the change." "Excuse me, you're not done here." Oh, yes I am. Bye." And he walks out. He didn't do that as an actual payment. He did it as a statement, because the electricity he used probably cost the school less than a penny, and he gave them 10 times that, just to show how ridiculous this all was. And just to punish him and make an example out of him, the school district spent hundreds of dollars filling out forms, calling this meeting, filing reports just to punish him. So they're the real losers in this fight. And this kid just walked out, no care in the world. What an absolute legend. If your phone goes off in class, you might get arrested. This school had a strict no phone policy. You couldn't even have your phone on you. Not in your pocket, not in your bag, nothing. But the real rule, if a phone rang, audibly buzzed, or dinged during class, the entire room had to stand up, hands on their head, and wait. So you see, 50 years ago, they invented broccoli. Alright, stand up. They would then send in a school officer to search every single student. Pocket checks, bag checks, didn't matter. Everybody was getting searched. And if you didn't comply, or if they found your phone, incarceration may result. That's what the handbook said, meaning you might get arrested, which doesn't make sense. And I want to remind you guys, this is a real story. So one day in third period, somebody's phone rings loudly. Everybody up, hands in your heads. The officer comes in. Well, one kid isn't standing up. Stand up. Eat my shorts, idiot. Excuse me? I said eat my shorts, big man. That's it. Get up. And they arrested the kid. Yes, I know he was talking back to him, but still, I don't know where this school got off or what kind of law they were writing on, but this entire thing just doesn't seem okay. Have your parents ever embarrassed you? Listen to this story. So this family's at the mall. A mom and her 2 kids. They grab 3 lemonades from a pretzel stand, take them to the food court, order some pizza. Normal day at the mall. Sounds lovely to me. Well, the lemonade tastes off. Not like poison, just like a weird lemonade. But the kids? Yeah, they're thirsty. So they drink all of it anyway, but the mom, she doesn't. She takes 1 sip and she's done. This lemonade's disgusting. Why would they serve this? She's just complaining about it the entire time they're eating. So after their meal, she drags both of her kids back to that pretzel stand. Yeah, hi, I want a refund for all 3 of these lemonades. They were absolutely horrible. The cashier goes, hey, listen, I totally get it. Since you didn't drink yours, I'll refund that one, but your kids drank theirs, so I can't refund theirs. I mean, seems reasonable, right? Nope. The mom snaps. Full-blown meltdown. You think this is fair? Huh? I want my money back for all 3 lemonades. I can't, lady. I can give you some coupons, but that's it. Doesn't help at all. The mom is still going off, and the kids are begging her to stop. Mom, please stop it. It's so embarrassing. Let's go. Let's go, Mom, please. The mom eventually storms off, and they all get in the car. And the whole ride home, the mom's like, you guys made me look stupid. Why did you drink your lemonade? Now they think I'm some sort of joke. I mean, yeah, they probably do. Because you were acting like a fool in the middle of the mall. That's crazy. The worst part of a sleepover was the morning. You're tired, the air smells weird, your friend is always sleeping longer than you are, so you have to deal with their parents. I hated that. Well, this one kid shared a story about a sleepover he went to when he was a kid. They wake up. His friend asks, so you want to stay for breakfast? Sure. Honestly, he should have left right then and there. That was a trap. He could have dipped, but instead, he's eating boiled spinach, microwaved eggs, and a glass of milk. The worst combo of all time. Why was this kid's parents making that for breakfast? I don't know. You like it, sweetie? Yeah, yummy. You barely touched your spinach. I'm savoring it. Meanwhile, his friend's little brother, who's staring at him, says, you eat weird. What? He survives breakfast. Barely. He sticks around for a little bit and then he wants to go home, but by this time it's 3 p.m. They ask him if he wants to play a board game. Guess he doesn't want to make his friend feel bad, so he says yes. But the game was Monopoly. The longest game ever. Who's playing Monopoly? And he's starting to get real antsy. He's got to go. He's texting his mom, please come pick me up. It's an emergency. 6 p.m. Ding, his mom texts him. Here. He grabs his backpack. All right, guys, thanks for having me. My mom's out front. And his friend starts shaking. Wait. You're leaving? Yeah, man, it's Sunday night. But I thought we'd hang out all week. Bro, we got school tomorrow. And then his friend starts crying. But you're my best friend. You're my best friend. I know, man. I know. All right, see you guys. He gets into the car and says to himself, never again. Every school has a mystery. This one had a poopatrator. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's what they called him. Someone was sneaking into the bathrooms and smearing, not tagging, not vandalizing, straight up finger painting on the stalls with poop. There's been another Code Brown. I repeat, there's been another Code Brown. That's literally what they called this. It was a real phrase, a real alert. The janitor would sigh, grab his gloves, and head in. One day, a kid opens the stall and he freezes. It's art. A whole drawing smeared on the stall door. A sun drawn in the corner. A flower in the middle. A barn with a horse outside of it on the left side. All smeared in human feces. Look, dude, why is it actually good? Like, it was actually impressive. Nobody knew who was doing this, but after weeks of chaos, they caught him, brown-handed. They caught him in the act, mid-sketch. Turns out he did this every time he went number 2. He got expelled after that. And for 2 years after that, to try to avoid copycats, They had people monitoring the bathrooms at all times. All because of one poop Picasso. That's crazy. This class was visiting colleges. They were all on a bus to visit one of these local colleges. Well, this junior was sitting by his girlfriend. Now, these two have been dating forever. Everyone knew them as that couple. But halfway through the bus ride, and Kevin, Kevin, we gotta talk. She breaks up with him on the bus. I can't do this anymore. You're an embarrassment to me. I have bigger things I want to do with my life. And you're gonna hold me back. I'm done. We are done. Oof. And he's just taking it. She finally stops talking and he's just sitting there staring out the window. 5 minutes go by. Then he quietly stands up, lowers the window gap as far as it'll go, shimmies his way out, and jumps out of the bus while it's moving. The bus is going 35 miles per hour on the highway. Everyone's panicking. Stop the bus! Stop the bus! Oh my god, he jumped! What happened? Well, I broke up with him. He said he didn't want to be on this trip with me, and he jumped out the window. So, not my fault. Now, this kid was fine. When he jumped out, he landed on this big pile of grass on the side of the highway. Just some scrapes and bruises. But when he landed, he just stood up and just ran into the woods. Full sprint. Backpack on and everything. They had to call his parents. His parents came to the side of the road where the bus was at. Staff was sent into the woods to go find him, and they found him, sitting by a creek on a log, crying softly to himself. Hey buddy, you okay? I love her so much. Leave me here. Leave me here. This is the craziest bus ride ever. This happened on a 5th grade farm field trip. Middle of nowhere, long bus ride, bumpy roads. Kid in the front goes, "Ma'am, are we almost there?" "About 10 miles away, class. Hang tight." Then boom, glass explodes. Something smashes through the windshield. Kids are crying. The driver yells, "It's a bird! It's a big bird!" The teacher looks down and it's a full-grown turkey. Dead. Feathers, blood, just laying there on the aisle of the bus. Okay, nobody panic. Nobody touched the turkey. She grabs a binder and she scoots this giant dead turkey towards the back of the bus by the door. She then opens the back door of the bus and kicks this turkey as hard as she can like a soccer ball. Okay, everybody off the bus, line up against this fence. Head count, please. The kids are still shaking. There's feathers in their hair, because when she kicked the bird, it kind of exploded a bit. Really traumatic. The new bus will be here in 20 minutes, okay? And she's all calm like she's done this before. The trip was canceled, obviously. When the new bus got there, they all got in, and they just went back to the school. But the smell of turkey death lingered on them for hours. It's summer camp. Midnight. Most of the cabins are asleep when this kid wakes up to a sound. Hey, did you hear that? The sound is crying, somewhere in the woods. What? It's not a normal cry either, like full-on sobbing, muttering. Is that an animal? Dude, I think it's a person. Well, these two campers sneak out with their flashlights and start searching through the trees. Hello? Anybody out here? Hello, we hear the crying. They find her, a camp counselor sitting on a rock, barefoot, crying. He said he loved me, but then he kissed Jenna on the dock like I don't exist. They're campers, and she's a counselor. This is not their business. Do you want us to get, like, another counselor or something? I can call some... No, I'm fine. Don't tell anybody you saw me. What the heck? The next morning, she's at breakfast and she's acting normal, like she wasn't just scream-crying into a pine tree 8 hours before this. But that rock that she was sitting on, they called that rock Breakup Rock for years after that. This kid started a war at the zoo. 5th grade field trip to the zoo. Everyone's hyped. The teacher's already stressed, you know. They get to the primate exhibit. The absolute best exhibit in any frickin' zoo. Alright class, hands to yourselves please. Let's respect the facility and the gorillas, okay? There's this one kid. You know, that kid. He picks up a stick and launches it into the gorilla exhibit. Well, the stick lands on the ground right next to a full-grown silverback gorilla. The gorilla turns, sees the kid, grabs the stick, and throws it back. Smack! The stick explodes across this kid's chin. He drops, screaming, blood's everywhere. Chaos. This class is freaking out, teachers are screaming, and then the rest of the gorillas show up, all gathered on the other side of the fence right next to this class. They just rolled in like backup, and they're all just smacking the ground. You know, they're all angry. And it's gotta be horrifying for these kids. They're yelling, they're pounding the glass. This is gonna kill me! They're gonna kill me! What is going on? Well, the pounding on the glass alerted the orangutans, who were on just the other side of this exhibit. And they roll in like backup as well. So now it's like a dozen silverback gorillas, a dozen orangutans, all just pounding the glass in the ground on the other side of this class on a field trip. Dear God. That's when the gorillas and the orangutans start pooping in their hand and chucking the poop at the glass. Back to the buses. Now. The zoo staff swarms in from all sides. They shut this entire thing down. The exhibit is closed for the rest of the day. 30 minutes later, the school's banned from the zoo for life. And the kid who got the stick thrown at him left in an ambulance. He had to get stitches. That is absolutely insane. B minus? That's just a B in a tuxedo. Oh, what? So this kid turns in an essay. He gets it back a few days later. A minus. Solid, clean grade. He's feeling good until he gets in the car and shows his mom. Why is it not an A plus? I don't know. It's still an A. An A minus is just a fancy B. You're rewriting it. So that night, he rewrites the entire thing. Adds more quotes, changes the intro, tightens everything up. Next day, he turns it in again. The teacher's confused, but she said she'll take a look at it. 2 days later, the same result. Still an A minus. He shows his mom. You are doing it again. You're joking, right? Not until you get 100. Fix your tone, fix your grammar, and fix your mindset. He rewrites it again. Turns it in. This is the third version. And the teacher pulls him aside. Hey, why do you keep resubmitting this? Your paper was excellent. I know. I'm just trying to survive, ma'am. She gives him the exact same grade, A minus again. He turns it into his mom. She just sighs and says, I give up. You must have done something wrong. And that's the day he learned. Sometimes it's not about the grade. It's about your mom's permanent disappointment. Poor kid. Wait, forks cost money now? Yeah, and Isaiah's making a fortune off of it. So here's what happened. At this one school, there was a pretty small school. In their lunchroom, they used real forks. Well, these forks started to go missing. Like every day, kids are accidentally tossing them out, leaving them on the ground, or straight up taking them home. Finally, the lunch lady snaps. That's it, new rule. Forks cost 50 cents. If you want one, you pay, and you better return it. Basically, it's a rental fee for your fork. Well, this kid named Isaiah, he sees an opportunity. The next day, he pulls up to lunch with a backpack full of Costco plastic forks. One fork, 25 cents. Two for 40 cents. Tell your friends. It spreads fast. He's got bundles, different colors, custom sizes, some with graphics on them that he calls limited edition. Yo, let me get 2 SpongeBob forks for my ravioli. Say less. The cafeteria staff notices this, and the principal steps in. Are you running an unauthorized utensil ring in my cafeteria? Well, sir, I'm just providing students with a better utensil option. Making pretty good money, too. He gets written up, they confiscate his inventory, and by Friday, the cafeteria stops charging for forks. But that never actually fixed the problem, because kids were still taking these forks home or accidentally throwing them away. Hey, what can you do? What can you do? He punched the teacher. Why? To get out of a quiz. So there was this one history teacher, ex-military, dude was jacked. He biked 10 miles to school every morning, kept an ab roller in the corner of the room, ate beans and spinach for lunch. Dude was built like a protein bar. One day he gives the class a pop quiz. Groans everywhere. That's when Jeff, the biggest kid in class, he was a football lineman, literal boulder with a backpack, he raises his hand. If I can punch you in the stomach and make you flinch, can we all get 100s on the pop quiz? Room goes silent, the teacher's staring at him, and he nods. Deal. He stands up, folds his arms behind his back, everyone gets out of the way. Jeff steps forward, winds up, and absolutely drills the teacher in the stomach. The teacher doesn't flinch, doesn't move, he just breathes and says, quiz stays. Take your seat, everybody. And that was it. Jeff became the kid that punched the teacher. And the teacher became the guy you'd never mess with. Yo, is anybody home? Oh look, cookies. So when this kid was in school, his parents worked late. So after school, he had to walk home, an hour and a half every time his parents worked late. He hated riding the bus, so he said he'd rather walk. So because of this, he would always try to hang out at a friend's house who lived nearby, and just get picked up from there later in the night when his parents were off. Well, one day he's walking by that friend's house, and he decides to give him a call. No answer, but he remembers where they keep the spare key. For some reason, he can't explain why. He grabs the key and he lets himself in. Starts walking around the house, calling out for his friend. Yo, you home? Hello? Silence. Nobody's there. So he goes to the fridge, makes himself a sandwich, sits down on the couch, and starts watching TV. About 15 minutes in, he realizes, oh my god, I just broke into my friend's house. What am I doing? And it's not just anybody's house. His friend is Russian, and his dad is a scary Russian man who had tons of firearms. He panics, he puts the key back, and he runs out of the house. He gets home safely. His friend calls him back later that day, and he didn't suspect a thing, and he has kept that secret every single day since then. That's crazy. Can I go to the bathroom? You know the rules. This teacher had the worst bathroom policy ever. You weren't allowed to just ask. If you had to go, you had to stand up, walk to the front of the room, and explain why you deserved to go to the bathroom. Those were her words, deserved. She said it was about building confidence and reclaiming classroom trust. Mostly, she just didn't believe students were telling the truth. I've seen too many kids abuse the bathroom. If you really have to go, prove it. And so one day, this kid raises his hand. Usually, he avoids asking his teacher to use the bathroom because he just doesn't want to deal with all this. And during this class, he held it in as long as he could, but he really had to frickin' go. So he asks, Miss, can I go to the bathroom, please? You're gonna have to convince me. I'm not playing with you right now, miss. Can I please just go to the bathroom? I have to go so bad. You know the rules. Get up here and explain why you should go to the bathroom. Okay, fine. Can I do a visual demonstration? Whatever it takes. And yeah, by visual demonstration, that's exactly what he meant. This is your fault. He goes in his pants right then and right there. And the teacher, get this, she gets angry and sends him to the office. Go to the office now. He goes to the office and explains to the principal what had happened. And the principal did not take this lightly. Instead of seeing a kid disobeying a teacher's rule, he sees a teacher refusing to let students use the bathroom when they have to. After that day, in that class, if you had to use the bathroom, you were just allowed to go. And the principal gave that teacher her last warning. Yeah, she sounds horrible. You want a basic charge or fast? Let's do fast. I need it juiced up by next period. This kid figured out that everyone in his school always had super low battery on their phones. Teachers wouldn't let you charge your phone in class, and half of the outlets were blocked off. By third period, everyone's walking around with like 1% battery. So one day, he shows up to school with a massive portable battery bank. He hides it inside his locker, and he builds a business. $3 for a basic cord charge, $7 for the fast cord charge, $10 for full day priority service. Each cord is labeled blue, slow, red, fast. He's got adapters for every type of phone. He's got a chart in a spiral notebook, and business was booming. People are taking him up on this charging service. He's got sticky notes in every device, this phone for lunch only, this phone charging from lunch till end of day. You know, he was very organized. By the end of this week, he's got regulars, he's got VIPs. One girl even prepaid to have her own charging slot for the entire month to use whenever she wanted to. Kid asks if he can get a charge during science. Yeah, all right, basic or fast? Oh, fast. All right, that's $7. I'll be right back. But then one day, 3 kids show up to his locker in between classes, and they're all huddled around it. One teacher saw this and got very suspicious. She opens it up and finds 6 phones plugged into a glowing battery brick, fast charging cords tangled like spaghetti, and a handwritten menu taped to the door of the locker. Shut down, battery confiscated, parents called. That was it. He was definitely upset, but dang, what a business. In those 2 weeks he ran this, he made over $200. All because he had a good idea and a battery brick. Gotta respect the hustle. You are a sad excuse for a student. Can you please leave him alone? No. This happened in a 7th grade social studies class. You see, this teacher, she had a reputation. She didn't like to grade papers, so at the start of every class, students had to grade each other's papers for her, and it always had to be done in red pen. Well, one day, this kid, quiet, he's kind of awkward, he has trouble focusing, probably like me, he's probably got ADHD. He asks the person next to him, hey, can I borrow a red pen? Before he even gets an answer, the teacher snaps loudly. Don't you dare give him a pen! The whole class just stares. She just starts going off on him. You are a sad excuse of a student, too lazy to even remember your own pen? You will go nowhere in life if you can't remember basic supplies. You are an absolute disgrace. It doesn't stop. She keeps going 10 minutes, then 15 minutes. Pathetic. Worthless. Embarrassment. Other students are getting incredibly uncomfortable. Please leave him alone. Okay, miss, he gets it. Just please stop. But she doesn't. She continues to tear him down in front of everybody. And when it's over, he just sits there, right in the face, tears building in his eyes. Doesn't say a word for the rest of class. Multiple students reported this, parents called the school, but nothing happened. There were no consequences. No apology either. She kept teaching, and he just kept to himself. That is completely messed up. What are you dipping your fries in? Applesauce? Ugh. So one day, this cafeteria lady says, "No more salt or pepper," and just straight up takes all the packets of salt and pepper off the cart. Gone. People are like, "Wait, what? Why?" And she says this, "It's part of the new health initiative. We're cutting back on sodium." But here's the thing, they did this, but they're still selling Mountain Dew in the vending machine. 52 grams of sugar, fully stocked, vending machine right across from the lunch line. Doesn't make any sense. So now lunch is like unseasoned chicken sandwich, wet green beans, and a bright green bottle of rocket fuel. One kid goes, "We can't have salt, but I can buy a Code Red before math class? Make it make sense." Another kid is literally dipping his fries in applesauce. "I'm doing what I can, man. Just trying to survive out here." Ugh. Now this opened up a black market opportunity. Kids started smuggling salt and pepper packets into the lunchroom to sell them. But the lunch aides and the teachers were on it, and everyone who was caught selling this stuff or using it got detentions. It was a battle like this for a while, and guess what? The school never brought salt and pepper packets back. But the Mountain Dew vending machine, it's still glowing right there in the cafeteria. So one of my subscribers sent the story in, and it's genius how simple it is. This kid started a snack business at his school. He posted the menu in his class group chat. People would place orders in advance, and he had a drop spot and everything. First day, chaos. Everyone showed up, they cleared them out, business was booming. But here's the thing, at his school, snacks weren't allowed, like at all. So when students started eating in their classes, the teachers kind of snapped. "Where's all this food coming from?" And well, one kid panicked and said, "So there's this guy." Bingo, snitched. The whole thing traced back to him. Kids who were eating snacks in class were getting detentions, and he was shut down completely. Before it got shut down, he made $30 profit on day one. $30 profit on the first day. That's insane. And he tells me he's not done. He said he's gonna take the risk and relaunch. And see, this is the type of mindset that we need. Because the reality of it, schools teach us to be good workers, to stay quietly at a job for the rest of our lives, and do what the man says. We don't gotta do that. This kid has entrepreneurship. He's got hustle, baby. He's a subscriber with a vision, and you know what I always say, you gotta respect the hustle. You skipped school yesterday. Yeah, I know. I have the perfect punishment for you. So this kid skipped school one day, and he wasn't even subtle about it. He didn't fake sick, he didn't have a note, he just didn't show up. And he was posting Snapchats during the school day of him at like McDonald's, riding his bike in the park, playing video games, and that got to the principals. The principal was like, "Yo, this dude is dead." Next morning, he walks in and he gets called to the office. "The principal's waiting. You skipped school yesterday." "Yeah, you know what that means." Makeup work?" "No, suspension." "So, I didn't come to school yesterday." "Correct. And now you're punishing me by telling me not to come to school." "Exactly. You're suspended. We'll see you next week." He walks out confused, like, is that even a punishment? He got suspended for 2 days, so Thursday and Friday were off, then he had the weekend. It was a nice long weekend for him. The best part, his parents were working late all week. So he literally just stayed home, ate cereal, and played Xbox. Now, I'm not advocating going to get suspended to stay home and do stuff. I'm just saying, for this offense, for skipping school, getting suspended feels like a really weird punishment. An in-school suspension probably be better, but I don't know. It was just crazy to me. What do you guys think? "You don't eat till I say you can." You are the worst dad ever. At this house, dinner was a test. Every night, the same rule. No slouching, no elbows, no speaking unless you're spoken to. But one night, this dad added a new rule. No food until you've calmed your mind. Well, kid walks in hungry. It's been a long day. He reaches for a plate. Not until you've counted 30 breaths out loud. It's a new rule. The kid tries to laugh it off. "Are you serious?" The dad just stares. So he starts. 1, 2. By 19, his voice is shaky, and he's very lightheaded. 20? By 21, he just says screw it and reaches for his plate. 20, no, the dad then stops him. "Nope. You're done." He takes the plate and he scrapes it into the trash. "No dinner for you tonight, son." And nobody said anything. Not his mom, not his sister. He just sits there and watches the rest of his family eat. Later that night, his sister knocks on his door with a granola bar. Doesn't say a word, just leaves it. After that day, he doesn't eat at the dinner table anymore. He finds a way to get his own food. Or he doesn't eat at all. Yo, that dad is the worst. Where does he get all his money? Oh, he runs a school storage empire. Nice. So this kid finds an extra locker. No name on it, no combination, just unlocked. And he gets an idea. He cleans it out, puts his own lock on it, and he starts a business. $3 a day for private storage. He spreads the word, people start taking him up on this. The first week he makes $15, just from kids storing some random stuff, like a lunch or a hoodie. But he takes that $15 and he flips it. He starts renting lockers from other students. He found kids that never use theirs, and he gives them money. he rents it out from them. And now he's running his storage business out of their lockers as well. It's simple. He pays a small little fee, he charges people for storage, and he keeps the profit. At his peak, he had 3 different lockers in 3 different hallways. Different clients, different time slots. People would store their phones before gym, put their hoodies in there when they were too hot. There was no drama, no theft. Everybody respected the system. He kept a spiral notebook to track who had what in what locker and when. He even offered weekly deals. $10 for 5 days guaranteed. One kid used that to store a bunch of snacks for himself to have throughout the week. But then, one day, 3 kids are hovering by locker 223. A teacher walks by, sees one of them pull out a whole bag of candy and a phone charger. Whose locker is this? Nobody answers. The admin gets involved. They pop the lock. Inside are 3 phones, a hoodie, a bag of Takis, and a pair of Crocs. They start asking around, and eventually his name got brought up and he was called to the office. Were you charging students to use lockers? No, I was offering a service, but what would you know about that? Locker Empire shut down. But in 2 weeks, he made over $100. No losses, no complaints. The only reason it ended was because it got too popular. And that's a good thing. You gotta respect the hustle. Why is there a piñata in the cafeteria? It's her birthday! So this girl, Olivia, she had a December birthday. And she hated how nobody celebrated it because it was so close to Christmas. There was never any cupcakes, no parties, and she was kinda tired of it. So for weeks leading up to her birthday one year, she saved up some money. She buys 4 giant piñatas, and she stuffed them herself. Dollar bills, candy, snacks, tons of stuff. Her plan was this: 1 piñata in the lunchroom, 1 in the hallway, 1 in the gym, and 1 in her math class. She even brought wooden bats to school to use for these as well. The first one at lunch, she pulls the rope and the piñata rises. She yells, and go! Kids abandon their trays and they rush towards this piñata, fighting over the bat to beat this thing. Candy explodes all over the floor, dollar bills are floating around. It was awesome, people are going crazy. One teacher tries to stop it. Hey, put that bat down! One kid says, it's a cultural celebration! And the teacher backs off. He's like, alright, fine. 3rd period. In the math classroom, kids beat the crap out of it. Taffy rains down like confetti, and 2 students start fighting over the last Kit Kat bar. Security shows up. Yeah, we've got piñatas on multiple floors. I repeat, there are multiple piñatas. Olivia gets called to the office. She's carrying a broken bat that's covered in Smarties dust. The principal says, you brought 4 piñatas to school today. Yeah, it's my birthday. Well, happy birthday. You're suspended. She gets a 1-day suspension. But for the rest of that year, all people could ever talk about was that crazy day with the 4 piñatas, and that sounds absolutely legendary. Is that a car on the football field? Yo, that's Miss Shelton. So Miss Shelton had been teaching at this school for forever. AP Chem, strict, she was sharp, she wore heels on lab days, and she'd never smiled. But within these last few weeks, she'd been slipping. Her hair's messy, she's forgetting the schedule. She told one kid, I am this close to quitting, I swear to God. Well, finals week hits. She hands out the tests, and then she just leaves the room. Someone says, do we follow her? Yo, guys, she's outside. And then everybody goes to the window, and she's standing in the parking lot, staring at her car, motionless. Half the class is watching, half the class is sitting back down, starting the test, when all of a sudden you hear, boom! Tires screeching. The kids run back to the window. Miss Shelton drives across the curb and onto the football field. And she just starts spinning. She's doing donuts in the middle of the football field. Grass and dirt are flying everywhere. Kids are filming. Teachers and gym staff are running outside to the field to see what's going on. They're screaming, my field! What are you doing? And they're just watching her do this. And all of a sudden, she just drives off the football field and parks in front of the front office. She walks in and hands in her name tag and her keys. Here's my keys and, thanks for everything. I'm done. I'm done. And she leaves. Nobody ever saw her again. Apparently, there were tire marks on that football field for weeks after this incident. Did you just laugh? Yeah. You need to follow the rules. So this kid gets invited to his friend's house after school. It's his first time ever hanging out outside of class with this person. He gets there, it seems normal, parents seem chill, the living room smells like candles and soup. They all sit down to watch a movie, totally normal. About 10 minutes in, a funny scene happens, like genuinely funny. Oh, you smell like my dad. That's when the friend's mom pauses the movie. She turns to him and she goes, excuse me, did you ask me if it was okay to laugh? The kid kind of sits there blinking. He thinks she's joking. She's not. I know this is your first time here, so I'll let it slide, but in this house, we don't laugh until someone gives permission. Okay? He looks at his friend and his friend just nods. The mom adds this. It just saves us from getting carried away. Laughter leads to chaos. Let's watch the movie. So they just keep watching, and anytime something funny happens, he sits there dead silent, while his friend casually goes, requesting laugh, approved. After that day, he never went back to that friend's house ever again. Yo, what is that? Oh, that just happens sometimes, don't worry about it. Okay. This kid's standing in the lunch line, bored, hungry, then he sees it. Something's moving by the nachos. It's tiny, it's hard to see, but something is definitely moving by the nachos. He squints and looks a little closer. Tiny legs, tiny wings, bugs everywhere. But it's just right at the cracks. Like he noticed it, but other people might not have. He pulls out his phone and zooms in. Oh, it's worse than he thought. The next station, the pizza station, same thing. He's zooming in the cracks and there's just bugs crawling around everywhere. He shows the lunch lady. Ma'am, we got a situation here. Oh, that's just the way it is sometimes. Excuse me? He's like, I bet. And he goes to the principal's office. Shows the principal. He looks at the pictures, and the principal's acting kind of suspicious now as well. Oh, thanks for letting me know. You can delete those pictures now. We're gonna take care of this. Kid's like, you sure, man? Yeah, it's handled. Appreciate it. Go back to class. Delete them. We're good. Kid nods and he walks out, but he did not delete those pictures at all. That night, he posts the pictures online and he tags the school and the health department. By 7 a.m. the next morning, parents are blowing up the school's phones, emails flying, screenshots posted everywhere. It's a mess. At lunch, the cafeteria is like chained off. The health inspector's there. Full-blown investigation. Shortly after that, the principal gets on the loudspeaker. Effective immediately, lunch service is suspended until further notice. And once the health inspector got an even closer look, school had to be shut down for 4 days. Kid's a legend. And to this day, they still call that the Great Cafeteria Shutdown.
কি খবর তোমাদের? কেমন আছো তোমরা সবাই? ভালো তো না? তুমি জানো তোমায় কালকে একটা কতবার কল দিছি?
হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়া আলাইকুম আসসালাম। কি রে? হৃদয়, তুহিন, মানা করতেছি। কিছু না কিছু। ভাবি আপনি জানেন আমি একবার অসুস্থ হয়ে গেছিলাম। ও আমাকে রক্ত দেয়নি। আর আজকে আপনাকে রক্ত দিয়ে চিঠি লিখছে।
আমাকে বুকিং দিছে মানে আমাকে কে বুকিং দিছে দোস্ত?
তোর যে আশিক আছে না, এখন তো আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা? কেমন আছো তুমি?
ভালো।
আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করবো না রক্তটা দিবি তুই? আমি কেন রক্ত দেবো? প্রেম খরচ তুই, রক্ত আমার বন্ধু দিছেন আপনাকে অনেক ভালোবাসি ভাবি। আপনার ওর রক্ত যাওয়াটা বিধে হতে দিবেন না ভাবি। 073421924 এটা তোমার নাম্বার না?
জি, আপনি কেমন আছেন?
ভালো নেই, আমি ভালো নেই। আমিও তোর মতোই ভাবতেছি, রক্ত যদি দিতে যায় না, রক্তটা আপনার কাছে এইটা আমার লাস্ট রিকোয়েস্ট ভাবি।
আচ্ছা,
কখন আসবে তোদের ভাবি? আর ভালো লাগতেছে না আমার। সে যে কেন এলো
আসুন তো এরপর যখন আসুন আপনার মেয়ে আমারে ডেকে নিয়ে আসুন।
পড়বি না? আমি পড়বো মানে আমি কি পড়তে যাওয়ার মতো মেয়ে নাকি? হ্যাঁ, তাহলে
আমি হইতেছি রিক্সা, তুমি হইতেছে এসি বাস।
মামা ভাড়া নিত কষ্ট, আমার বুকটা পাইতে গেছে, আমি অনেক কষ্ট পাইছি ভাই।
কষ্ট কোনো ব্যাপার না।
এই রিক্সা,
এই ঘটনা ইতিহাস হয়ে থাকবো যে সেলিম ভাই ভালো।
আরে জুলি গেছে বাইরে মনে কর পিক করতে, বুঝছো?
মিনিমাম 1700 লাইন কবিতা লাগবো। তুই 700 লিখবি। মানুষ তো মর্ডার, যে কোনো সময় মারা যেতে পারে। মারা গেলেই বাঁচি।
আমার কথার বাইরে কোনো কিছু করবি না। আর ও যদি তোকে পড়ানোর চেষ্টা করে তুই কোনোভাবে কোন হারামজাদা আমার মায়ের ডিস্টার্ব করে।
খালু আপনি শুধু শুধু রাগ করছেন। কই
আপনার মেয়ে যাবে না স্যার?
না আমার মেয়ে যাবে না, আমি একা যাব। এই সেলিম তুমি কই যাও?
মাডা মনে আর বাঁচবো না স্যার।
বস কি তোর বাড়ি কই?
স্যার
শত যে থাকবো সেও ব্যর্থ হইবে। আমি চাই না আর কেউ ব্যর্থ হোক। মন যা চাইছে আপনি তাই করছেন, এখন আমার মন যা চায় আমি তাই করব। তুমি অনেক ভালো একটা মাইয়া, তোমার অনেক ভালো হইবে।
আমার মা হাসপাতালে ভর্তি, ডাক্তার কইছে 2 ব্যাগ রক্ত আর 1 লাখ টাকা যদি আজকে
জন্য পাগল আর আপনি তানিয়ার জন্য পাগল।
আরে জুলি, এইটারে কয় ভালোবাসা। দাঁড়িয়া, তোমার হাতের রান্না।
তোমার বড় ভাইয়ের ভালো না থাকলে এখান থেকে চলে যেতে বলো।
আরে জুলি, তুমি আবার কি রাইখা কি
নেমে ফেলতে পারো তাহলে আমি নিজে দাঁড়িয়ে থেকে তোমার আর তানিয়ার বিয়ে দেব।
সারাদিন ধরে ভিক্ষা করছে, আমাদের 1 লাখ টাকা আর 2 ব্যাগ রক্ত লাগবে। কি করবো বলো, আমি তো আর প্রফেশনাল রিক্সা চালক না, প্রেমিক রিক্সা চালক। আমার তাহলে ক কি লিখছস, কয় লাইন লিখছস ক।
সে কি তোরে খুব ডিস্টার্ব করতো? আরে না, আরে শোন না একবার কি।
আচ্ছা
ভাই আমাকে আপনার সাথে লেগে যান।
কাম করা বুঝছি তো আমি, আজকে আমার বিজয়ের দিন। এখানে 100 কবিতা আছে, সার্ভিসটা তো একটু আলাদা থাকবে তাই না?
দেখেন আমি কলেজে যাব, আমার দেরি হয়ে যাচ্ছে, এসব নাটক দেখা
চাইছে আর কি। ওই যে তানিয়া তো পড়াশোনা করে সন্ধ্যার সময় যদি একটু খায় মাথাটা ঠান্ডা।
এই এগুলা কি? এই কার্ডের ভিতরে আমার মেয়ের নাম লেখা কেন?
বাইরে মনে কর পিক করতে বুঝছো?
ওই যে আয়া পড়ছে আছে। আয়া বলছে